Hey everyone, it's Jennifer from stampwithjennifer.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you one version of a shaker card. So this is the shaker card I'm showing you today. It has little hearts inside, but keep in mind this is only one version. There's many different ways to make shaker cards. So the card we're making today uses the Flowering Flourishes stamp set from the Stampin' Up! Annual 2015-2016 catalog, as well as teeny tiny wishes for our greeting. Okay, so the main part I'm going to focus on today is just the shaker portion of this card. So I used the Lots of Labels framelits to cut the opening. I'll show you that in a second. I used Stampin' Dimensionals, the Confetti Hearts Border Punch, Stays on ink. Those are our main supplies. So the first thing I did was cut the opening in this piece of white cardstock. So this is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I cut this opening with the third largest Lots of Labels. So 1, 2, 3. I cut the opening with that one. Then I took the second and third largest to make the black border. So I just ran one piece of basic black cardstock through the Big Shot at the same with both dies at the same time to cut out that border for this piece here. Then, after die cutting, I embossed it with an embossing folder. This folder is called Elegant Dots. Okay, so the next most important step is adding your window sheet behind. This is the step most people get confused on, and they want to go ahead and add foam or whatever tape you're going to use to raise up your image behind next. But the window sheet has to go next, so think of it this way. If you don't have that plastic right there, what's going to keep your hearts or your filler from coming through the front of your card? So that has to be next. So cut a hole, put the plastic on. Now today we're going to stamp on it. Now you don't have to, so here's what it would look like if you just used a clear transparency. I am using Stampin' Up's window sheets. Okay, so let me pull in some scratch paper, and here's my transparency. I'm using Stampin' Up's window sheets. They're really good quality, nice and thick. When you're going to stamp on anything plastic, glass, metal, any non-porous surface, you do want to use Stays on ink because it will actually dry on there. I did make sure my Stays on pad is very well inked before I started, and then you just want to ink up your stamp really well. Make sure it's nice and shiny on there. Straight down and straight up, and the transparency will probably stick to it, so just peel it off. Of course, don't squish it around because it may smear. You need to let this dry a little bit, so we'll set it aside while we work on the rest of the card. So for this piece, I'm going to flip it over and add snail adhesive on the back side, just around the window opening. And then you can either place this down like this, or I like to lay my transparency on the table and place it like this. Just make sure there's no holes. So there we go. So step 1, cut the hole. Step 2, add your transparency. Okay, so next we're going to add our dimensionals to the back. So when you get your Stampin' Dimensionals, they come with these edges, and I use them. Sometimes I just rip little pieces of it off and use it for something small, or just to use them up. But in this case, we're going to use the edges to go around our opening. So they're foam, so they're raised up, and they will give us the space so that our little shaker pieces can actually move around. If you are making a lot of shaker cards and you need more foam than you have dimensionals, then you could also just get foam mounting tape or any kind of, foam raised up sticky stuff that you happen to have or have purchased. So I'm just going to rip these. So it looks ugly here, but this will not show on the front of my card anyway, so it's fine. And depending on what your shaker pieces are. You want to make sure all of your seams are sealed if something could fall through. Okay, to balance out the edges so the card looks nice from the front and sides, let's just add some dimensionals around. And if you add a thicker shaker filler in there, thicker than some flat pieces of paper, you could actually double this up. So peel it off and add another layer of dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and peel all of my protective coatings off. And so this is the next part that can be confusing when you're making a shaker card. The instinct is to place your pieces right here. But we don't want to do that, because then when you try to pick this up and place it on your card, they're all going to fall out and they're going to stick here. So have your card base ready. Mine's just a Whisper White, but if you were going to stamp on it or whatever, have it ready to go. Place your pieces here. I've pre-punched some hearts. Oh, cat hair, dog hair, in black and white. And then let me punch some melon mambo hearts real quick. So my first one, line up the silver markings on the punch with the previously punched images. That's how you use those. And here's my melon mambo hearts. Still have hair. Just kind of put it in the middle. You know, you'll know where how large your opening is. And then, of course, you want to place this down nice and straight, because it is going to stick once you stick it. So I like to look at my edges up here to make it straight and kind of even. Shaker card, that's it. So I hope you will make yourself a shaker card. They're super fun and easy, but they're going to impress your friends. And you can use any, cut any opening you want, circles, whatever shape you want. Fill it with whatever you want. Stamp on the plastic or not. So I hope to see you again at stampwithjennifer.blogspot.com. Feel free to leave a comment below or make a request for a future video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel right there. See you later.